Recently, I did a piece about the razor is in your hand. You might have heard this already. Just about the importance of a message that came from my father at the time to remember that it's my face and the razor's in my hand. And I always have the responsibility for managing what goes on in my life and what happens. Don't blame someone, something else. I am responsible for what happens for the most part in my life. But there was something that was added to that message. And what was added to that later on, as I started dealing with things that could create worse consequences, like driving a car and using power tools and things of that sort. And this message, this added message, is something that my mother started saying also. I think she always said it, and that was take your time, uh, pay attention, and take your time. It's something we don't hear too much anymore. When is the last time someone told you to take your time? Is that a message that you heard as you were growing up as a young child to take your time? I know as for me as a young teenager, I was so anxious to rush to the next thing, right? Couldn't wait until I'm 15 and get my learner's permit. And oh my, when I'm 16, I'll get my driver's license and everything is rush. I'll be glad when I get off work. I'll be glad when I graduate. I'll be glad when this or that. I'm always was rushing. And my folks said, take your time. And because I say because I was raised by older folks, I learned how to drive. My parents actually, and older folks in the area, taught me how to drive. So I had to be responsible as I was driving. That's how I learned. I didn't learn in a school or a driver's ed course. I learned from parents and uncles and aunts and things like that. And they would remind me, hey, don't be in such a rush. Slow down. Slow down. You don't have to rush where you're going. And I didn't realize the value of that statement at that time. But as I've gotten older, and they assured me that I would realize the value of it as I got older. And it's true. As I've gotten older, I see the value of taking my time and doing things. And we have moved so far away from that, haven't we? They don't teach that in school to take your time as much, or definitely not on jobs and things like that. And everything is rushed. So our communication is rushed. And we don't take our time to talk to people. We do what's quick. Well, I don't have time to talk. I'll just send a quick text or send a quick email or send an emoji. I don't have time to talk. What are we missing when we don't take our time? Are you taking your time as you go through life? We used to travel as I rode with my parents as a young child. We never traveled on a plane abroad, but we took long road trips. Some of you have had road trips before, and something powerful can happen good on road trips. And I learned to measure the moments, not the miles. Not always asking how much farther do we have to go? How many more miles left? No, what can I do in this moment to make it meaningful? It's by taking my time to be where I am right now. So in communication, we're rushing and so much is missed. Yeah, you can send a text to someone or an email and ask how they're doing and they can respond back. But communication is only 7% verbal, isn't it? 93% nonverbal. How much are you missing by not being able to hear the voice of the person that you're checking on, if you're serious about checking on them, to hear their tone, to see how they're really managing? Can you take your time just a little bit more? Fast food, everything is quick. Fast food, microwaves. How fast can you get something made? I was at a fast food place, and I guess that's a part of what comes with it now sometimes. And I was asking the person behind the counter behind the window something, and they repeated it real fast. Couldn't understand what they said, just like you didn't understand what I said. And I said, could you? I didn't hear you. What you? And they said it at the same speed as if it were on automatic and could not slow down. As a matter of fact, got irritated that they had to say it again, but they definitely did not slow it down. Um, so much is missed in doing that and moving in that way. And here's something else. Do you know that Google has taken the place of grandma and grandpa and mama and daddy and aunts and uncles? And there was a time that you would try to find out how to do something or ask a mother or aunt or somebody in the kitchen how to make something. They said, well, look here, you got to do this and put a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And this is the way I used to learn. I learned it this way. And they're telling a story that goes along with whatever they're preparing and the history of it. And you can see them and watch their movement. There's so much that's learned from that. But now, I don't have time to ask grandma, grandpa, daddy, or mama. I'll just Google the answer and I'll get the quick answer right there. And you're right, you get the answer, you get it quick, but you miss something in that relationship because you were so quick to get past that. In preparing meals, they used to be um, a gift, I would say. I think of it as a gift now of Sunday dinners that were prepared with lot with time and love and attention and all the attention to details. And now people talk about why don't we just throw something together. And I didn't grow up eating food that was thrown together, and some of you didn't either. But we have moved into that time, and because of social compliance, a lot of times we just follow the trend or the pattern of what everybody else is doing. Well, this is the way all my friends communicate, or we cook, or we talk, or we operate. Or if you're not careful, you'll find yourself rushing by trying to live life in terms of miles instead of moments. And there'll be so much that you will miss in the process by not paying attention to what's happening around you. Sitting out on the deck today, just taking my time. Um, it's rare to find that happening, but there's so many valuable things that can be received if we can learn to just try to slow down a little bit and take our time. And let's understand we're not talking about the exceptions of when there's a crisis or something dangerous is going on. You have to hurry up and move somebody out of the way, or you have a work assignment that you're trying to complete. Not talking about that. Those things aside, can you take your time to give attention to every aspect of what you're doing because it has that kind of value? You'll be surprised what you'll discover about yourself and things around by just taking your time. I'll tell you a quick example. I had a contractor that was over here at the house yesterday, and we were trying to figure out how to handle something. And he told me today, he said, I got stuck by a train. And while sitting at the train, I started thinking about the project and I came up with an idea that might work. Instead of getting to the train and saying, let me hurry up and figure out how to get around this train, which he could have done, he decided to just pause, allow space, take his time, be where he was, and creativity started to grow. And he came up with an idea that I think is going to work pretty good, and I'm going to be able to use it in some other projects. It's amazing. It's not going to be my story, but it's going to be your story. I don't know the last time someone reminded you, and that's all we need sometimes. It's just the reminder. It's not that we don't know it, but we just need to be reminded sometimes to take your time. And that's the reminder for this video.